Is this our third Emily Henry episode?
It is.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
Real ones know our first one. Our first episode was Book Lovers.
Yeah.
So here we are once again. It's almost like our anniversary celebration.
Right. Sure.
So this is kind of our second anniversary as a podcast.
That's true. Both timing wise and just bookended by Emily Henry books.
Yes, we'll just start marking time in Emily Henry releases.
Yes.
To be honest.
This podcast started 3 Emily Henrys ago.
3 Emily Henrys ago. Launched with Book Lovers. Now, funny story.
Yes.
Part 3.
Part 3.
Part 3.
I haven't been. Also, my voice sounds like this. I'm so sorry. My brother got married this weekend and I talked a lot. So, apologies. I haven't been online that much in the book corners of the internet to know how this book has been received. Have you?
I haven't really either. This one also, just with the chaos of life lately, I did not read this in 48 hours like I did Happy Place.
Mm-hmm.
It took me about a week. Just, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
Not all good things, but nope, lots going on. So also my For You page is just completely taken over with Kendrick versus Drake. So
same. Oh my God. Honest. And I haven't really engaged. Also, I've been like pretty offline since all of that has been going on. So I feel like I'm only halfway informed and I'm very confused about why I'm getting so much content surrounding it because I've engaged with none of it.
I've engaged pretty heavily in it. It is semi-fascinating, but also like, man, shit's dark.
I mean, I'm interested, but I feel like I am so far behind that I need like a full evening to catch up.
I got one TikTok that's 5 minutes long of a guy breaking it down in a pretty good way.
Okay, send it to me. Because, yeah, you don't go on the internet for like 4 days and then it's like, what did I miss?
You missed a lot.
I missed a lot.
You missed a lot.
Yeah, I really did.
But no, I don't know how the girlies are feeling about Funny Story right now, to be honest.
I know how, like, my, like, personal circle feels about it, and they've all liked it, but I don't know what the capital D discourse is.
Yeah, I only know how Tess feels about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Friend of the pod, Tess. And then Madeline asking when we were going to talk about it. So, hi, here you go, Madeline.
Yes, congrats to you, Madeline.
But
where does this fall on your ranking?
It's hard to say because I consumed it over like a spread period of time. At the very beginning, this was like very reminiscent of Beach Read for me.
Yeah.
Which everyone knows is my favorite.
Yeah.
So I would probably rank it above Happy Place.
Same.
Below Book Lovers.
Yeah.
Below Beach Read. Maybe above People We Meet on Vacation.
I think that's where I'm at. I think it's like staunchly in the middle.
Yeah. It's hard to say right now because I am fresh off my first read.
Yeah.
So, but it fits perfectly in the Emily Henry universe. So
it does. It does.
I think in the beginning I was a little like, is this too reminiscent of Beach Read in some ways? And then that ended up not being the case by the end of it, I felt.
Well, and then I was also feeling like there was a really similar melancholy as in Happy Place as well. And so I was like, I wasn't expecting that back to back, which like,
yeah,
Beach Read is also very melancholy.
Book Lovers is almost kind of like the happiest one.
Right, exactly. And so I guess, I don't know if Book Lovers like reset my brain because it was
maybe
the happiest one, and then Happy Place was so melancholy.
Yeah.
And now this is melancholy, and so now like I'm like, is it me? Do I just have to like remember that like Emily Henry is kind of a melancholy writer, or like did this like, I don't know. I guess I was just taken off guard and maybe I shouldn't have been.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's a good way to think of it.
Yeah.
Because Book Lovers is so zany at points.
Right.
And Happy Place was not zany.
Right.
And was deeply sad at points. Mm-hmm. And this was, I think, in kind of the middle of both of those, of zaniness and deeply sad, where there are some very sad points of this book. But there's also, I wouldn't even call it zany, but there is like some
goofy.
silliness. Yeah, it's a little goofy.
Yeah.
So, should we read the blurb?
Yeah, if you can do it since my voice sounds like this, that would be good.
I will read the blurb. I usually get out of it too, so this is fitting. So, and I did get the hardcover. I didn't get a signed one this year, but shout out to Brazos bookstore in Houston where I grabbed it, and they have a shop dog there, and it was very cute. I got to pet him. So, here's the blurb for Funny Story. Daphne always loved the way her fiancé, Peter, told their story. How they met on a blustery day, fell in love over an errant hat, and moved back to his lakeside hometown to begin their life together. He really was good at telling it, right up until the moment he realized he was actually in love with his childhood best friend, Petra. Which is how Daphne begins her new story. Stranded in beautiful Waning Bay, Michigan, without friends or family, but with a dream job as a children's librarian that barely pays the bills, and proposing to be roommates with the only person who could possibly understand her predicament, Petra's ex, Miles Nowak. Scruffy and chaotic, with a penchant for taking solace in the sounds of heartbreak love ballads, Miles is exactly the opposite of practical, buttoned-up Daphne, whose coworkers know so little about her they have a running bet that she's either FBI or in witness protection program. The roommates mainly avoid one another until one day, while drowning their sorrows, they form a tenuous friendship and a plan. If said plan also involves posting deliberately misleading photos of their summer adventures together, well, who could blame them? But it's all just for show, of course, because there's no way Daphne would start her new chapter by falling in love with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex. Right? It's a fun little phrase.
Yeah.
Ex-fiance's new fiance's ex.
One thing that I did really... Well, one thing that was very sobering about this book is that I think Daphne has edged out January as my...
I was thinking Daphne edged out Nora as mine. So, I don't know.
I felt very seen by our girl, and not always in a good way.
Let's unpack that after we go through the book.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah.
So, the book starts in a very devastating way with the breakup of Daphne and Peter, which is goofy and melancholy in the best Emily Henry way. Mm-hmm. It is Daphne sitting on the couch waiting for him to get home from his bachelor party, which I guess their bachelor party was truly just hitting the town, unlike, you know, the weekend trip to Napa that Austin took for his bachelor party. So he comes back and he tells Daphne, I'm actually in love with Petra. You need to leave.
Petra, his best friend.
Yeah, from childhood, who is also, as Daphne notes, like, insanely hot. So.
They always are.
They always are. So he walks outside. Petra is there, has, like, given him a ride. Daphne throws a bunch of Jordan almonds at their car, which as they drive off, which is very funny. And then Miles shows up a couple hours later and is like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And Daphne's like, I gotta move out, apparently.
And Miles is like, well, I could use a roommate.
Well, okay. Thus begins the most, like, depressing roommate situation ever.
Yeah, the beginning of this book is very funny when they're both just, like, being very sad separately, but in the same apartment.
Yep. Miles is smoking a lot of weed and crying over Adele. Yeah. Lots of Adele.
Lots of Adele.
Wafting from his bedroom door, along with the weed smoke. Daphne is just kind of going through her days very quietly and privately.
Yeah. Going to work, going home, not talking to anybody, not doing anything.
Yep.
Counting the days that she can leave this town.
Yes.
And that's the mechanics of the book, is the countdown of how many days she has left.
Right. So the thing that she's waiting for is the readathon at the library at the end of the summer, where it is what
it's
it
like
sounds
a lock-in.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wow. You just unlocked a little piece of my youth group brain.
It's like a lock-in at the library.
But you read books.
Sounds great.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds like my ideal version of a lock-in.
Yeah.
So she's waiting for that. It's also like the fundraiser of the library, which needs money desperately, like all libraries. Mm-hmm. And so she is, I think, like at the beginning of the book, she's got like 3.5-ish months.
Yeah,
left.
It's May and the readathon is in August.
Yeah, like right before school starts.
Yeah.
So they have, Miles is like asking her to kind of like hang out a little bit, and she's kind of like, no thanks. And then It all comes to a head when they get an RSVP or a save the date in the mail from
Peter and Petra.
And
they're drunk. Or they get drunk.
Miles is drunk.
And he's like, we should go. And so they RSVP. And then Peter calls Daphne and is basically like, well, we didn't expect you guys to actually come.
Yeah. So when they decide they're going to RSVP too, this is kind of their first summer adventure. They go.
The first shenanigan,
yeah. They go to that bar and they meet that man named Gil, who is a biker and looks like he murders people, but is actually fostering kittens. And they're running around town. I don't remember if this is where you put it, but this book is super horny in terms of.
This is not where I put it, but yes, this book is super horny because basically from this point on, Daphne is like,
I want to jump this guy's bones.
Yeah.
Miles is Miles, in my opinion, is the hottest Emily Henry.
I completely agree. Also, that fact is why in the graphic that I posted on our Instagram the other day that I put that I was matching songs from the Tortured Poets department to this book. And the first one that I thought of was Guilty as Sin because this is so horny.
Yep. It's tastefully horny. It's not like a Tessa Bailey horny, but it is probably the horniest Emily Henry book.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, but yeah, so when they're, on their drunken shenanigans, that's when they RSVP for the wedding.
Yeah, so then Peter calls and he's like, honestly, we were just inviting you to be nice. If you're too sad, you don't have to come, basically. It's very condescending.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm going to come and I'm going to bring a date. And Peter's like, well, you only RSVP'd for one person, so I don't really understand how you're going to be bringing a date. And that's when she's like, well, Miles and I are dating.
She was like, he already has an invitation.
Yeah.
Which is very funny.
This is our first Emily Henry fake dating.
Kind of. Happy Place was a fake dating for a time.
That's true. They were fake.
Continued dating.
Yeah.
Fake engaged.
Yeah, exactly.
Still.
Yeah. It was a fake continuation, not a fake new relationship.
Yeah. So this is the first true fake dating.
Yes. In the traditional sense of the word. So yeah, then they kind of start to spend time together so that they can continue their ruse and post on Instagram.
Yeah. That
they're dating. But then they actually enjoy spending time around each other.
And this is also when Daphne's kind of realizing I don't feel like I was a person without Peter. I don't have any friends here that are independently my friends. I only went where he went. That's weird. And so Miles is like, well, I'll just take you around. Why not?
Yeah. Because she's like, yeah, well, my best friend is dating Peter's best friend. And so I don't really know if she's my friend anymore or what. It's very sad, actually.
Yeah, it is very sad. I don't want to think about it too hard because it makes me just feel sad and lonely.
I know. Yeah, it's very sad. And I think this is part of the reason why I identify with Daphne so much because I absolutely had a moment like this in my mid-20s when I went through a breakup and I was like, ooh, I'm kind of one of those people that just disappears into a relationship when I'm in one and maybe I should not be that way. Which is a very sobering realization.
Yeah, oh God, am I a human independently?
Right, do I exist?
Do I have thoughts and feelings that aren't tied to one other person?
Yep.
And it kind of makes sense that, we also learn some of Daphne's backstory throughout the book and that she was raised by a single mom. Her dad is extremely absent and just kind of floated in and out of her life. Daphne is very Rory coded. Mm-hmm. So think of Daphne's dad as being Christopher.
Yeah.
So, and then Miles also has a not great family situation that we don't know about for a little while, but we know that he and his family are not close. And
yeah, it's alluded to.
Yeah, in the beginning. So yeah, they start posting on Instagram and hanging out and going to the beach and going to this fast food place that I definitely want to go to.
Yeah.
Where they have cherry chocolate milkshakes, which
that sounds awesome.
Fucking excellent. And hang out on the beach and almost make out, but don't. Again, this book is super horny.
Yeah.
Side note, Miles is a wine guy.
I know. I was wondering if you were going to like that or not.
I actually did. I think, well, he wasn't a true, also, there wasn't a lot about wine in the book. It was very
this is just what he happens to do.
Yeah, he just works at a winery. Yeah. Which is very fun. And I did kind of love there was almost like so little wine in the book that I was like, oh, does he even know about wine, or does he just like happen to work there? But it does sound like he does. They're just like, don't talk about it.
Right.
He's not, I don't know, he's not a fancy restaurant man like my husband is. So yeah. I think it actually worked out for me. Plus, you know, in an ideal world, maybe Austin would be just a winery guy standing behind the bar where we get to...
Having a normal life.
We're getting there. We're working toward it somewhat. But I loved that they like got to go visit him at work and like throw peanuts at him or whatever, which is what Katey and I do when we go visit Austin at work.
We're going to do it tomorrow.
Yep.
Talking about going to visit Miles at work, Daphne starts to become friends with one of her coworkers, basically forced by this coworker.
Yes. Yes.
This coworker, Ashley, is basically like, we're going to hang out whether you like it or not.
Yeah, it kind of starts where Ashley was like, well, I think at the beginning, and forgive me because it's been a few days since I read this part, but it was something like she was talking about how she was going to have plans with somebody and then they fell through. And then Daphne, in a strange urge of or fit of inspiration or whatever, was like, well, I'm free.
Right. And then Ashley's like, what? Okay. And then Ashley is like, okay, now we're friends.
Yeah.
The end.
So they go visit Miles at work, and that's also when like Ashley Ashley knows it's a ruse from the beginning. So I did also appreciate that about this like fake dating. It's like it was only fake to like Petra and Peter.
Right.
So it didn't have to be like a full fake dating situation, which I think can be very tiresome.
Yeah.
As a trope of like, oh, how are we going to make everyone believe we're dating?
Exactly.
And so it was nice that this is like a fake dating of like, it's only really online fake dating, and like maybe they're just hooking up kind of thing.
Yeah, and we do get a few of the classic fake dating things, which like the day that, and I'm getting a little ahead now, but the day that they run into Peter in public and then they're like, oh, okay, I guess we should like make out.
Yes.
But it's funny because like they make out, but Daphne's like, it was the worst kiss of my life.
Yeah. At first it was terrible. And then they try again. Right. It's better.
They have a real first kiss later on.
Yeah. They're bopping around town doing a bunch of stuff. One, we learn that Miles is the most well-liked person in the entire world.
This is also why I identify with Daphne a lot. Because my husband can talk to anyone. Yeah. And everyone likes him.
Golden retriever husband.
Yep.
That is kind of Miles a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think it's like one of their very first we're bopping around town dates where they go to like the farmer's market, and of course he knows the asparagus farmers, and like they go to the cherry place and
he knows the cherry farmer.
Yeah.
Like he knows everyone.
And then they go and get lavender lemonade, which is on the cover and on the spine, which is really, really cute. That's what that is. Isn't that cute?
Yeah. I like that he's wearing Crocs.
I know. I didn't notice that until yesterday. I was like, oh my God, he's wearing orange Crocs. So yeah, there's their lavender lemonade that they go get. And
That's cute. I bought the hardcover, but I read it on my Kindle just because I was like so busy. I didn't want to lug the book around with me. I bought the hardcover knowing that I would want it, but then I also just got it on my Kindle because I was like, I'm doing like 50 different things today. So
Emily, you got 2 book purchases out of Katey.
You did. I think I've double purchased almost every Emily Henry book in some capacity, because some I also have on audiobook because I like to listen to Julia Whalen read.
We do love Julia around here.
Yep. Yeah. So I remember very few of their going. He basically like forces her to be a tourist within the city that they live in,
which sounds really fun.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
And that is, when they are on their lemonade date is when they run into Peter, and that's when they're kind of like, oh no, we might have the hots for each other. And then chaos blows in with the name of Julia.
Yeah, Miles' sister just like shows up and is like, hey, so I can stay for a while, right?
Okay, so not long after they make out at the lemonade stand, they're having a movie night, and they have their first like true makeout and almost bang.
Yeah.
So that is earlier than 50% of the book.
Yeah.
I did not do the math. I'm really falling off on doing the math on these lately.
Hang on, let me see. That is at 39%.
Nice. Okay.
They're making out, and then
he gets a call.
And it's Julia.
And Julia, I think is 23, 24.
She's young, yeah.
She's younger. his younger sister, his only sibling, and is like, I'm at the airport. Come pick me up.
Yeah.
And Miles is like, what? And she's like, you need help.
Yeah.
Post breakup. And he's kind of like,
what?
Yes, but he's got no choice.
Right. And he knows that something else is going on, but she won't tell him. He's like, I think my sister's going through something. I don't think she's actually really here.
Yeah.
For me, but I guess we'll just ride it out.
She's using it as an excuse, and that's fine. We're going to let her.
Yeah.
But regardless, we're going to ride this out. Yeah, we're going to see what happens.
Yep.
So Julia, like, moves in with them, and Daphne likes her immediately, so there's no, like, conflict there.
Yeah, it's the most conflict that comes out of it is just that it's crowded in the apartment.
I know, that kind of gave me some anxiety, where I was like, she's living in the living room.
And, like, leaving her straightener in the sink and stuff, and I'm like, in the sink?
In the sink. Girlfriend.
In the sink.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gave me some anxiety of just, wow, somebody in my space forever, with no end in sight.
Yep.
I don't like people in my home all the time.
Yep.
So, but it works out for them.
It does.
And it means also Julia kind of gets to join in on their tourism, which is fun. And so does Ashley. They go to a place called Barn.
B-A-R, all caps, lowercase n.
Guess what it is? It's a bar.
Bar and a barn.
Which is very common in Texas.
Yeah.
This is also when Ashley's like, no, you and Miles like each other. You're not faking it.
Yeah.
And they like almost make out. They like dance, and you know, it's a nice little like romantic moment.
There's a lot of yearning.
There is a lot of yearning. This is a very yearnful book.
As is every Emily Henry.
Yeah. So also one of these dates, and again, there's kind of a lot of these little tiny dates.
Yeah, we're skipping over some of them because that's we have to.
This is kind of a slice of life, more so than maybe some other Emily Henrys.
Yeah.
I found myself in the middle kind of being like, okay, I need something else to happen. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say it sagged, but there was a like, all right, where's the tension? There is no conflict happening.
It got a little repetitive because it was like, oh, they're doing some cute thing. They're yearning. They go home.
Yeah.
They're doing some cute thing. They're yearning. They go home.
Yeah. So in the middle, I was like, okay, it almost felt like, you know, when we talked about Abby Jimenez in Just for the Summer, where I was like, she is so good at moving plot forward. Mm-hmm. This one, I did have a point where I was like, okay, I don't feel like plot is moving forward. They're just, like, there's not even really a conflict between them. Mm-hmm. There's just no conflict. So, but one of the dates, they go to a senior prom, quite literally senior
yeah.
for senior citizens, which honestly sounds so fun.
And Miles knows all the old people because they're all people that he like works with in some capacity.
And of course they love him.
Yeah.
But who do they run into but Petra and Peter?
Yep.
And Petra does that thing where it's like girls who are not girls.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, I feel like we've talked about this before, where it's like your husband or boyfriend is like, she's so nice to you. What do you mean? And you're like, no, she hates my fucking guts.
Exactly. Yeah. But she's only not nice in the way that other women know.
Yes.
That men don't pick up on.
Yeah. She says something about like Daphne's dress.
And then Peter insults Miles for being a bartender.
Yeah. Peter's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Peter kind of reminds me of like one of those adult frat men who have never grown out of being a frat, who wears like Sperry's and pink shorts.
Yeah, there was a quote that I highlighted early on in the book where Ashley, who has not even met Peter yet, calls him the little boy looking over someone else's shoulder trying to figure out if the kid next to him has a better lunch, only the lunchbox is shut. So even though he knows what his parents pack for him is pretty good, he'd still trade it just to open up that rusty little Batman lunchbox.
Yes, he is a man who is not confident in his decisions.
Or anything, really, yeah.
He is gross.
Yeah.
We don't like him. So they run into Petra and Peter, and Daphne gets really mad that Peter insults Miles, especially to his face.
Yeah, and this part was so funny because Peter's like, oh, were you harboring a secret bartender fantasy? And she was like, no, but the roommate thing is pretty hot.
Yeah.
which is really funny.
And then
she's embarrassed by it afterwards because she's like, oh God.
They dance, and this is also when she like kind of runs away. And they have, so Miles catches her or catches up with her. And this is also when they have the conversation of like, oh no, we do really like each other, and this could actually be something. And they make out in the truck, or against the truck.
Against the truck.
Yeah. Of course, there's got to be a truck.
This is at 57%.
Yeah.
So they go to second base. Well, I guess they went to second base on the first one. Anyway, I don't know the base. This is where it gets
the 4 Fs.
Really horny.
Yes. Starts getting super horny around here. But they kind of don't do too much about it a lot. They just have moments.
They kind of fool around, and then they're like, all right, anyway, back to normal.
I know, which I'm like, you guys have some good self-control, I guess.
Right, and like
at
really
points.
good at not being awkward around each other.
Yeah, which is very nice. Because I don't care for a miscommunication in that sense. But this was a nice moment of the senior prom. Where I do appreciate very much that Daphne's like, fucking don't be a dick to him. He's a nice guy, and who cares that he's and he's not really even a bartender.
Right.
He works at a winery. That's pretty cool.
But who would care if he was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know lots of great bartenders.
One thing that I liked about this book and all the different shenanigans or all the different kind of bopping around town things that they go to is that this book it made me look forward to summer because there's some really nice summery things in here. Like there's the 4th of July evening that is nice, and I was like, ooh, summer is coming soon, which is not something I normally look forward to.
I know. I was feeling that way too, and I was like, Emily Henry is luring me into a false sense of security of how summer is, because as we know, summer is hell in Texas. But big news, Austin and I just got a stock tank for our stock tank pool. So
maybe that's why I'm looking forward to summer.
Yeah, brighter days are ahead.
We have access to a pool again.
Yes, a tiny pool.
But hey, any body of water will do.
2 feet deep is pretty good, actually, to be honest. That's when you sit
enough
in
for the 4 of us to sit in.
Oh, it's pretty big, actually. Yeah, I'll show you the picture of it leaning against our fence. I was like, oh, this is absolutely big enough for like 8 people to sit in.
Sick.
So I'm pretty pumped.
No, there's this part when they're at the 4th of July parade and fireworks and stuff where like Daphne's like inner monologue is talking about like she would like last year for the 4th of July, she went to Peter's parents' annual barbecue, and she's talking about like, oh, there's like lightning bugs in the garden and all of the friends are tipsy and flushed and happy, but I still felt like I was standing outside of things waiting for the moment I could become a part of it. But tonight I am a part of it. I'm in the center of it. And I was like, I just found that really lovely.
Yeah, I did really like that part where it felt like the tides were turning, because all up until this point she's been like, no, I'm leaving at the end of the summer. And this is where she's like, maybe I could stay.
This is the first time so the countdown at the beginning of the chapter is like 100 days till I can leave, whatever. And this one is I highlighted it. This one is the first time that it says on July 4th, 44 days until I could leave, parentheses, if I still want to.
Yeah.
And so I liked how that changed throughout the book, because then later on in the book, instead of saying until I can leave, it says until the readathon.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really clever.
I really appreciated that too, because I feel like we get books like this where it's like, somebody is supposedly in this transient point of life, and then they fall in love and they are still holding on to it being a transient point of life, instead of being like, no, this is right, and not committing to that. And Daphne came around to that faster than I thought she would, which I appreciated it. So I was happy that we didn't have to do all that, too much of the like hemming and hawing.
Right, like will I stay, won't I stay?
Yeah, exactly. Which I feel like January kind of does in Beach Read.
Yeah.
And this was a little bit, there's a little bit of it.
And Nora also does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although Nora, to be fair, was always like, I gotta go back to New York.
That's true.
This is not so much my life.
That's true. Shortly after the 4th of July, we discovered that Daphne has not gotten rid of her wedding dress or anything wedding related.
Yeah.
And so Ashley and Julia are like, oh no, call in the troops.
We gotta get rid of this shit.
Yeah. They make her try it on.
Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot about this part.
And she gets stuck in it.
She gets stuck in the dress. And Ashley and Julia just straight up leave while she's putting the dress on. They like go on a snack run.
Yeah, they went to get snacks because they're like, okay, we're going to like help you clean out of all this stuff or whatever. But then she's trying the dress on. So they're like, okay, we're going to go get this and then like we'll come back. And then while they leave,
Miles
comes home and like I knew this was coming the second they left. I was like, she's going to get stuck in the dress and then he's going to have to come help her. And lo and behold, that's what happens.
I was impressed that she managed to zip herself into it by herself. I was like, how'd you do that?
I can't even zip myself into a normal dress, let alone like a wedding gown.
Yeah, it took like 4 people to get me into my dress.
Yeah.
So good on Daphne. But then, yeah, she does get stuck in it. Do they make out at this point? Probably.
Yeah, he puts chapstick on her zipper.
Yeah, to lube her zipper.
Yeah.
Which they make a joke about.
I don't know if they make out. Let me see. Oh, no, they don't make out, but it is very tense.
Yes. Sexual tension.
Yep.
Yep. So there's a shenanigan for you.
Yeah, that was one of those that I saw coming, but I still loved it anyway.
Yes, a good semi-trope, but not too tropey.
Yeah.
Which is, I think is like a good Emily Henry thing. It's like she takes these tropes, but she doesn't lean into them too hard.
Right.
She kind of twists them around like just a little bit where it's familiar, but not lazy.
Just slightly different. Yeah,
exactly.
Then Daphne's dad shows up out of the blue with his new wife, Starfire, who's insane but also kind of lovely.
Yeah, so Daphne's dad, we don't know too much about him except that he is super flighty, and he's also the reason that she became a librarian, because every time he would come to town, he would take her to the library, and so that's kind of her one fond memory with her dad. And yeah, he just shows up, which hold on, I did make a note for this where I was like, 2 unexpected deadbeat parents showing up, 2 nickels, etc., etc., etc. Comparing this with Just for the Summer, where it felt extremely similar.
It did.
Of just, this one's a dad who's also got what does she say? Does she say she's a psychic?
She's a life coach.
Yeah.
But a psychic told her that she and Daphne's dad were married in a past life, and she was an heiress on the Titanic and fell in love with the dirt poor boy.
And he saved her life.
And Daphne's like, so the plot of the movie?
And she goes, like, what
movie?
What movie?
What movie?
Which was so funny to me. I did laugh out loud at that point.
Yeah, I highlighted that. My therapist says I'm an ex-path.
Oh my God. Funny. Yeah, Starfire do just be saying shit.
Yeah, she's crazy. I kind of love her. She didn't do anything wrong. She's just an accessory to this weird situation.
Yeah, she's just kooky.
Just a little kooky.
So they go out on the boat.
Yeah.
That was one of the dates, or the touristy things that Miles had planned, which, man, I do love being on a boat.
Yeah.
This was also a part that was like, maybe I don't hate summer. I do, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, don't go too far down that path.
Yeah, exactly. I can't. But I do look forward to perhaps a boat day.
Yeah, we should. If anyone has a boat,
hit us up.
Yeah, let us know. We get our one and only Taylor Swift reference.
We do get a Taylor Swift reference because one of the boats is playing Cruel Summer.
Yep. Jump scare. No, they go out on the boat. They have like a nice day.
Yeah, they go out for a really nice dinner. This whole time, this really broke my heart because she was just like waiting for the other shoe to drop with her dad, where it was either like he wasn't going to pay for dinner or
she keeps waiting for him to disappoint her, and he doesn't, and she's like kind of cautiously like
optimistic,
maybe he's changed.
Yeah. And so then the next day, so it's Thursday when they go on the boat. The next day they go to Miles' winery and like hang out, and there is this like kind of lovely sad moment where Daphne again is kind of looking around, and she's like, wow, maybe this could actually be a reality, where it's like, my dad is in my life, I'm happy, and things aren't so chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day they split.
Yeah, they promised Daphne that they would come to her like Saturday morning story time thing at the library, but Miles shows up and is like, yeah, they're not coming, they met some guy who has invited them to come stay at some fucking cabin somewhere or something.
Met some dude on the beach where it was like, he's like Miles's Wah.
Yes.
Where it's like everyone Daphne's dad meets, he befriends, and then just fucks it up with anyone else that's kind of consistently there.
Right. He's just like very like, oh, that thing sounds fun. I'm going to go do that. Oh, wait, no, there's a new fun thing. I'm going to go do that instead.
Yep, exactly. And fucking poor Daphne. This broke my heart.
Yeah, she was so disappointed.
Miles had to be the one to come tell her.
Yeah.
And they kind of get into a fight. Well, they don't get into a fight. She gets really short with him because she's embarrassed is what it is. She's embarrassed that she's upset. She's embarrassed that her dad left yet again.
Yeah, and tries to kind of pull away, and he doesn't let her.
And that's when he takes her to his favorite beach.
Mm-hmm. It's really cute.
They come home, and they also have sex for the first time.
Yep.
They bang!
77-ish%.
Yep.
A late one.
It is a late one. It is a late one for them to, like, properly bang, especially for a book that is so horny.
Yeah.
So... they bang.
And then they have a very vulnerable moment, like the next, or later that night or the next day, I'm not entirely sure, where Miles is like, you're my best friend, which is so, and so they have a very vulnerable exchange where Daphne is like, basically like, everyone in my life leaves me, and I'm waiting for you to figure out that I'm also not good enough and also leave me.
Yes.
Which is also super fucking real.
Yep. I put in my notes, and like, this is also, I kind of wish I had read this on my Kindle so I could have had more, like, better highlights throughout. Mm-hmm. Or I should have just been better about flagging things. But I did write down page 299 because there are certain quotes where I was just like, oh no. Partially, okay, so one of the first ones that I was like, oh shit, is one where he clocks Peter. Yeah. In the same way that Ashley does, where he says, oh yeah, do you want to know what...
this is page 298 for me. Interesting.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so we're one page off. Where Miles says, do you know why your dad doesn't stick around? And tears sting the back of my nose, but I nod. It's the question I've never been able to stop asking, no matter how badly it hurts. Because you see him, Miles said, and he can't stand it. And Peter's the same shit with a different outfit, so bored with himself, he convinced himself that being with someone like Petra would turn him into someone else without, like, having to be brave enough to try acid. Which is an extremely funny and also accurate read. It's like, we've all met a man like that who wants a cool gal until it's not as fun anymore. Yeah. Until it's, like, real. Oh, he says, too, it's easy to be around people who don't know you, but as soon as someone starts to figure out, as soon as you can't be perfect, it's easier to move on. Find someone new to be the cool, fun, laid-back one with. And I was just like, well, fuck.
Well, and I also highlighted the thing that he says kind of next, because Daphne doesn't take that well and is like, wait, so you're telling me I just I make people feel like they're their worst selves. Yeah. And he's like, no. And then eventually he says, and I'm going to paraphrase, he's like, well, I won't paraphrase, I'll read it. He says, but after a while, someone either finally sees you or they don't. And either way, it fucking sucks, because if they see you and it's not what they signed up for, then they're out of there. And if they never see you, it's worse because you're just alone.
Yeah, that hit me like a truck. Mm-hmm. I think I definitely talked about this when we talked about Mrs. Nash's Ashes, of like, you know, I think Miles is almost the male version of this like manic pixie dream girl sort of thing, where he was like the good time. Mm-hmm. And one of the like running things with him is that he is just like easygoing. Right. Like, he does not get upset. He talks about learning not to get upset because of his household that he grew up in with a very emotionally abusive mom. Mm-hmm. Real shit. And yeah, that's just like been his defense mechanism, is like, he's never upset. Mm-hmm. He's just like good to go. Everything's
always
fine.
Always a fun guy.
Always a fun guy. And then when you are with somebody who like realizes you're not always like the fun guy and you are not always perfect, it really fucking sucks. Yup. So, big ouch, but it's really nice because they both are like, no, I want all of the non-perfect parts too.
Yeah, it's really nice.
However, we have a very sad friendship moment Which, ouch, God.
Daphne forgets Ashley's birthday and does not realize it for a while.
Yes, not until Monday.
Yeah.
And on Saturday, she was supposed to go paint Ashley's
bedroom or something.
Yeah.
Something in her house.
Yeah. Ashley's a single mom who was like kind of recently divorced and, you know, had made some joke of like, you know, what's his name? Doug or something? Daniel. No, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Her ex-husband like never wanted her to paint or something. He was just like one of those guys who doesn't make decisions.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't even know if I want to paint, but I'm tired of looking at the same four walls. And Daphne was like, you should celebrate your birthday. I'm going to come over. We're going to paint. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. And that's why Ashley had called in sick that day. Yeah.
When Daphne's like talking to her about it, she's like, why didn't you call me? And Ashley's like, I did call you 9 times. And Daphne's like, fuck, we were at the beach with my dad. I didn't have phone service.
That's when she was at the secret beach with Miles.
At the secret beach with Miles. You're right.
So she was
squishing beaches together.
I know. I almost did the same thing. So that's when she was so upset about her dad.
Yes.
And that's why she forgot.
Right.
And that's why she ended up going to secret beach with Miles and not having phone service and not seeing all of Ashley's calls. So.
And this is like, I don't know, 100 pages or so after Ashley sort of like not calls Daphne out, like kind of calls her out in a nice way by calling her a wee girl, by saying, you know, she never goes anywhere without a partner. You know, it's always we this, we that. And so this is especially rough because Daphne's like, oh shit, she was right. I am that.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's rough.
This is also when Daphne gets a call from she had submitted her application for a children's librarian up in Maine, like near where her mom lives. And she also gets the call that they want to interview her. And she's like, well, fuck it. I'm fucking stuff up here.
Also, Miles disappears.
Yeah. The whole day goes to shit.
Yeah.
Ashley's upset with her, rightfully so.
Miles is supposed to pick her up from work and then he never shows and doesn't text her back for a while. Doesn't answer her calls. And when he does text her back, he's like super sketch about it.
Yeah. And that's when she gets the call and is like, you want to interview for this job? And she's like, absolutely, I do.
Yeah.
A million miles away.
Miles doesn't come home that night.
God,
this had to have been so terrifying.
I would have been a basket case in this moment. I would not have been able to just like sit there the way that Daphne kind of does.
Right. Like, remember when Ryan and I mixed up the dates that he was camping and I thought he was coming down home a full day earlier than he actually was and I didn't know where he was for like 20 hours?
Yes.
That was one of the worst days of my life.
Bad day.
Yeah.
Bad day.
Not
all
great
around.
To know. To not know where your partner is.
Yeah. So.
And then Peter shows up.
My God. Poor Daphne's having an insane couple days.
And is like, Petra and I broke up. I want to get back together.
I fucking hate this man.
I hate him.
Daphne, to her incredible credit, is like...
I like the ASMR of your pages turning.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Look at that, everybody. There you go.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And then Peter drops the bomb that Miles went to go see Petra after, like, Peter and Petra broke up. Petra calls Miles. Miles goes to help her, like, move or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, pack her stuff or whatever.
Yes.
And Peter's like, they're going to get back together, so why don't we just get back together?
And
which
Daphne's
is a great
like,
reason.
Yeah. Daphne's like, fuck you, no.
Yeah.
She realized there's a nice moment, too, of, like, Daphne's self-actualization journey where she's like, even if I'm not with Miles, I don't want to be with this guy.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah.
So, and Peter does suck.
Yep.
We don't like him. So.
She kicks him out.
Then
Miles comes home.
They don't talk, which I am also just like, Daphne, how do you do that?
They very vaguely talk. They do talk.
No. Okay, yes. So he comes home. She like slips out of the house. And then as she's walking home, he like pulls up in a Jeep and is like, get in the car. Let me take you home. Because also it's raining.
Yeah.
And that's when they talk. And she's like, where were you? And he's like,
a friend needed me.
Yeah.
And Daphne's like, what the fuck? And then to her credit, she's like, what friend?
Yeah.
And then he he tells her the truth, which is great.
Yeah. He tells her the truth, and then he says, like, he got caught up, which, you know, okay. He realized he messed up, traded cars with her. That's why he has the Jeep. Petra has the truck, so she's borrowing his truck. And he's like, he feels real shitty.
Yeah, he tells her he loves her.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
And Daphne's like, now is the moment that you decide to do this?
That's not great.
Yeah. And then she's like, this was so heartbreaking when she's like, I wasn't even worried, like, when I like came outside, you were supposed to pick me up. I wasn't even worried that you weren't here because I was so confident that you were going to show up because I trust you.
Yeah, I was worried about you.
Yeah.
And then you bailed.
Yeah.
Just like my dad.
Yep. She has a heart-to-heart with her mom.
Her mom's great, but is never actually there.
Yeah.
One of my notes
is a little flighty.
Not even that. She's just busy.
Yeah.
She's like busy living her own life. She does a lot of CrossFit.
Oh, yeah, they're CrossFit.
And she like goes and hangs out with her friend. She has a friend named Pam. And one of my notes in the middle of the book is like, Daphne's mom is definitely gay, right? I
was thinking the same thing.
Because Daphne's like, she's always talking about her friends like Pam and Karen or whatever. And I was like, she's definitely dating Pam, right?
I thought that was
coming.
Going to be revealed. Yeah.
It did not.
No.
In the sequel, perhaps.
Yeah.
Pam and Holly.
What if this book comes out with a bonus epilogue?
Oh my God, that would
like the Target version or whatever.
Emily, Pam and Holly bonus chapter,
or put it in the newsletter.
Put it in the news. Emily's grocery list.
Yeah. She goes back to work. Ashley has forgiven her.
Yes, which is nice.
Daphne like breaks into Ashley's house and paints it pink.
Yeah.
And then Ashley's like, actually, I think I hate it.
Yeah. It's like the nice grand gesture moment where Ashley's like, you fucked up. Yes. I'm going to fuck up too. That's okay. It's just like this very nice moment of Katey and I have had a lot of deep conversations about friendship lately, where it's like when you choose to be friends, you choose also you have to have the hard conversations of like, we're going to piss each other off. We're going to be upset with each other sometimes, but we are making the effort to move past it. You know what I mean? And
talk about it when it needs to be talked about, or not talk about it when it doesn't need to be talked about.
Right.
And just, it is what it is.
Yeah. And like, that's this moment where Ashley is like showing a lot of grace, where she's like, yeah, I was upset, but I also know like, I'm going to piss you off someday.
Right.
And like,
and she was like, you've been given your punishment. Now it's over.
We're fine.
I was mad for a few days. It's over.
Yeah. And now we're great. Which I was like, oh,
now here's a cup of coffee.
Wow. What a nice, like healthy adult friendship.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it. Amazing. Perfect. Yeah. I'm so happy for Daphne in this moment. Too.
I love Ashley. She's so funny.
She's really funny.
Yeah.
Also, I would have forgiven somebody though, right as soon as they gave me a bunch of Portuguese tarts the way Daphne does for Ashley.
Oh, yeah. If you get me my favorite snack, you are forgiven immediately.
Yep. So, yeah, what snack do you need
my
to be bribed with?
My convictions are not that strong.
Oreos?
Oreos, yeah.
Okay.
Both regular and golden.
Yeah. Or you also like those soft...
Chips Ahoy?
Yeah.
Yep. Chewy Chips Ahoy. Ugh. That's a childhood nostalgia thing, a weird holdover.
I'm storing this away for next time I piss you off.
Or Cosmic Brownies. Little Debbie, Cosmic Brownies. You know the ones?
Yes, of course I know the ones. Okay, so if you upset Katey, here's what you bribe her with. Oreos Cosmic Brownies.
Honestly, though, probably just one Cosmic Brownie because I don't think my body can have more than one.
Whose can? I think like once you turn 18, your body stops being able to process any of those chemicals that are in that stupid brownie.
I used to eat the little mini chocolate chips off of it and then eat the brownie because I don't like crunchy things in my soft things.
Ooh, that's why I'm the same way. That's why I don't really like stuff in my ice cream.
Same. Who was I talking to the other day that I was like, I don't really like mint chocolate chip ice cream, and they looked at me like I was a serial killer.
I like mint chocolate chip, but not quite like Ben and Jerry's is like too much stuff. It's too much stuff. Yeah. I want ice cream. One, because I want to be able to stir it up too.
Right. Like I don't even like chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream that much because it's too much stuff in it.
It's too much stuff.
Although I do like the cookie doughs.
Yeah. You gotta like stir it up and then you eat the ice cream around the cookie doughs and then you eat the cookie doughs.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
where are we even at in this book?
Ashley and Daphne make up because they have a nice, good adult friendship conversation.
Yeah. Then Daphne interviews with this other library that's back near where her mom lives, and she's feeling complicated about it.
Yes. Julia had left a few weeks ago and has come back.
Yeah. basically is like, I told you that Miles and you should be together.
Yeah.
So, like, what went down?
Yeah, fucking wake up.
Oh, also, her dad had left her a note when they left, but she didn't read it because she was so mad.
Which, again, these people have more self-control than I do.
I know. So she, like, digs it out of the trash, basically, and reads it and realizes that he apologized for leaving, but is also actively trying to make other plans with her, which apparently is new and rare for him to do.
So she and Miles kind of don't really talk until...
Yeah, like she's dealing with the readathon and so much shit hits the fan because a stomach flu is going around. So everyone that was supposed to help with the readathon has bailed. And so basically everyone rallies around her, Ashley, etc. Her dad calls in the 20 minutes before the readathon starts, and I was like, this is the most parent thing ever.
Literally.
To somehow know exactly when to call at the worst possible time.
And he had called her like 3 times.
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh my God, somebody's dead.
Yeah. And he was like, well, I was calling to wish you good luck on your thing that you have. This is the most parent thing to call right before a large event, to be like, good luck. No, call me the day before.
Yep. The day before.
Not 20 minutes before.
No.
So this is when she tells him off and is like, you were a shitty dad. You were never there for me. Blah, blah, blah. And the man was too stunned to speak.
He truly, though, he just says, oh, Daphne.
Yeah.
And then she like hangs up.
Yeah.
But Miles comes.
And then Miles shows up.
Wait, did we talk about how Miles went to Mackinac Island?
Well, we find that out.
When she calls her dad.
Yes.
So when Miles, which I'm a little confused on the timeline here, but it seems like Miles went to help Petra, gave her his truck, and then went to Mackinac Island and confronted her dad and got stuck there.
Yeah. And that is why he was gone for so long. Not because he was with Petra the whole time. He was only with Petra for a small amount of time. Then was like, what the fuck am I doing here? And bounced.
Yeah. And was like, I gotta go stick up for Daphne.
Yeah.
Which talking to her dad, I was like, this is the most uncomfortable scenario I can imagine, where he is stuck there because he missed the ferry back. Yeah. And he has to spend the night at the like friend's house they're crashing with, and her dad is like, he made things real complicated for us. And I was like, well, one, I don't give a fuck, but also like, damn, that sucks.
That's so awkward.
Woof.
So Daphne was like, wow, he does love me.
Yeah.
And then he shows up moments later
for the readathon
with like everyone he knows, all the cheesemonger, the asparagus people,
really like
the cherry people, like all of his friends to like help out, because all of the volunteers are gone because of this stomach bug.
Yeah, a lot of townies in this book.
Yeah, a lot of good townies. Yeah. We don't get a lot of time with them, but they're good.
And of course, the readathon goes like perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And as it ends, Miles and Daphne go on a walk.
Yep. And that chapter's called Finally. Instead of a countdown.
So it ended in kind of an unexpected way, where they go on a walk and, you know, of course they have their big moment of, we love each other.
Yeah, we should be together, etc.
But Daphne is like, and I'm moving out.
Yeah. There is so much like saccharine sweet language happening between them that is so sweet in this part.
Not gonna lie, I kind of skimmed it. I was like, you're talking too much. I am also like, how are you coming up with the speech after you've slept for like 4 hours in like 2 days? Good for you guys.
I know. I'm like, how do y'all just talk like this extemporaneously?
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, I'm going to stay, but I'm moving out because I need to figure out who I am independently.
Yeah.
And then we get an epilogue, which instead of being called an epilogue, just says 412 days since I stayed.
And they bought a house together.
Yep.
So obviously they moved back in together.
Right.
And
well, they are moving back into, or they're having their housewarming party. Yeah. So they have just recently.
Yeah. So like they spent like a year living apart, which I am also like, how much time apart did you really spend? It wasn't that much, right?
Y'all had to have just been spending basically every night together, I imagine.
Yeah. I did really like the through line of like, as Daphne was realizing that she wanted to stay, she would pass by this house that was for sale. Mm-hmm. And she like takes Miles to that house, and he like looks at, because it still has the for sale sign, and he like looks at it and she's like, no, I can't afford that.
Yeah.
I got an apartment. So.
And then when they buy a house, they buy not that house, but a house that has the exact same floor plan.
Yeah. And it's orange.
Yeah.
which is cute.
It is cute.
But it's like, yeah, it's all of their like found family showing up at the end.
Yep.
For their housewarming, and it's really lovely. Julia lives there full time.
Yep.
They don't talk to their parents, who it turns out Julia Miles's mom showed up at her work and like confronted her about something stupid, and that's why Julia ended up running away.
Yep.
And so now Julia lives there.
Yep.
Daphne and Ashley are still BFFs. Daphne has reconnected with her old friend Sadie, which is kind of lovely.
Yep.
And
the one that she thought she
lost
in the breakup. But, you know, she realizes that Sadie just didn't really know how to talk to her because she was mourning too.
There was a nice sentence where it was like, the decision for her had never been me or Peter. It was her best friend or the love of her life. Because her boyfriend...
Her husband, whatever, is Peter's best friend.
Yeah, so it wasn't like, oh, I like Peter more. It was like, oh,
right.
He and Peter are like too close for this to like work, to be honest.
Exactly, yeah.
So it was like, that was another good moment of nice adult female friendship, figuring it out. So, and yeah, they live in a cute house together.
Yep.
And
it's all very lovely.
That's the end.
The last thing I will say is that there is in the acknowledgments kind of a meta line where Emily is like, I usually think my readers last or nearly last, but this time I want to thank you first. Whichever of you, like me, actually read the acknowledgments. And I was like, that's me.
Look at you. That's you.
That's me. Yeah, no, like you, I think I'm still deciding where this falls for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with solidly in the middle right now.
I think
there's
so
two
too.
in front and two behind.
I wish I had consumed it a little faster than I did, but like we said, there's a lot happening right now. So I wish I hadn't spread it out so much where I like consumed kind of big chunks, like with maybe a day or two in between. And gotten more of a feel. But boy, did this once again give me the feminine urge to run away to Michigan.
God, honestly, like the state of Michigan Tourism Board should give Emily Henry royalties.
I want nothing more than to have a little lake house in Michigan right now.
Yep.
That's partially why I love beach read so much, is I love the idea of getting to run away from Michigan and my only responsibility is to write my stupid book.
Exactly. And flirt with the hot man next door.
And I have no money, but, you know, I'm going to figure it out.
Right.
So,
yeah, I agree. You know, that's an interesting point because, I think a big reason I like beach read so much is because it does feel like kind of the modern version of like the grown-up version of like The Summer I Turned Pretty or books like that that I like to read in high school where it's you go to a beach house for the summer with your family and fall in love with the summer boy or whatever. Like that's beach read is the grown-up version of that.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah. This is almost like in some ways the more realistic version of beach read.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They feel very like spiritually similar in some ways of like, once she's living in Michigan, she doesn't feel like she should be living in Michigan and living close to a hot man.
Yeah.
That she doesn't. Well, you know, January hates Gus at first.
Right.
She's indifferent to Miles at first, and then they become something more.
This made me think that I don't think there is an explicit reference to the broader Emily Henry universe in this book.
They go to North Bear Shores though for one of their dates. They go to North Bear Shores to the book store where a romance writer that Daphne really likes because of Sadie is having an event.
Yes.
And they talk about Pete and her geologist wife, but nobody gets named.
Oh. Yeah. See, I clocked that with the novelist and I was like, I bet that's what this is. But since it wasn't explicit, I didn't even catch the Pete reference.
And then in the epilogue, or the last chapter, whichever it is, where she's like, I reconnected with Sadie because I bought that author's book.
That was the one that I caught. That was when I realized, like, oh, I bet I know what's happening here. I didn't clock it on the initial reference.
Yeah. But yeah, we didn't get neither January nor Gus were explicitly named. I love that they are the ones who always get like named, like the first book.
Yeah, they're the OGs.
They're the OGs. They get to be in every single book somewhat tangentially, which is one, very easy because they're authors. So you just need a good book reference.
Right, exactly.
But I do love that because, beach read, of course, has my heart. So
yes.
Yeah. I don't know where I will end up feeling in terms of like the heroines of Emily Henry's, but I did very much relate to Daphne in especially a lot of her I don't know about like trauma response, but she talks a lot about like relating to having a complicated relationship with a dad that is not there.
Yeah.
And just kind of being very independent. And one, also like expecting people to leave.
Yeah, that was a big, her just like overall, I guess not even insecurity, but just like lack of self-confidence.
Yes.
Like felt very reminiscent of me in a lot of times of my life, not so much now, but, you know, throughout. And her like kind of realization that she like has pretty much always been in a relationship and has never been alone.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I had like a very similar realization like in my mid-20s that I was like, whoa, I have never not been in a relationship as an adult. So yeah.
Yeah, I did also, it was nice to see the relationship between like Daphne and Ashley having them figure that out on the page. I think in a lot of, you know, like in Beach Read, we have January and, oh, what's her friend's name? I can't remember her friend's name right now. The one with the great boots.
Yeah.
Who,
I don't remember.
like, they have a very established friendship. Like, a lot of romances, there is a very established, like, best friend character.
Yeah.
But it was really nice. And that's something that I related to a lot as somebody who, like, felt like growing up, it was really hard for me to make close friends and definitely felt like that in adulthood. Like, I'm not friends with anyone from college anymore. And so, like, learning how to do that and feeling so unconfident in it of, like, well, who wants to be my friend? Who cares? Like,
well, and I really related to, that's why I liked that 4th of July passage so much, because I really related to what she was saying about like that feeling of being like with a group, but not like in a group.
Yeah.
Because that was how a lot of my friend groups were like in high school and college. And I guess even not so much my early 20s, I kind of felt more like confident in myself and my role in a group by then. But yeah, for a lot of my like young life, I was like, I think these people are my friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was something I definitely felt a lot up until maybe like the last year and a half, where I think like, you know, like we have a big group of girlfriends, but I was obviously still am like the youngest. And so I am now becoming more of a human than I was at like 22.
Right.
And now it's like also just like having a big group of girlfriends is great. Like we're all friends. And then there's also just like, oh, I have another contingent of friends that I see more consistently. And like, I don't know, like this is like, I feel like I'm finally settling into my adult friendships and like learning what that looks like, if that makes sense.
And what role each of those like friendships and friend groups kind of plays. Yeah.
Having a lot of realizations about friendships and relationships over the past like year, which is really weird and like fun in its own way of like figuring out how this works. I'm also like somebody who does not work well with subtext. And so it's very nice to have that on a page in a book where they have that conversation of like, no, we're friends.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah. Like, don't worry.
We're going to be upset occasionally. It's okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to be friends. It's fine. This is, sorry, you're stuck with me kind of conversation. So, which is great. So,
which has been a recent theme.
It is a theme, not just with me and Katey, although Katey has stuck with me forever. So
yeah, but just in our personal friendships recently. What are you reading right now?
What am I finished this 2 hours ago. So.
What are you gonna read?
What am I gonna read? What am I gonna read? I need a romance break, so I am going to read None of This Is True next.
Nice.
Which I know you really liked.
Yeah, I did.
I'm excited to pick it up. I think I need a palate cleanser pretty badly. I've been in like a pretty heavy slump the past couple months.
I think that's a good one because that was a thriller that like at no point did I really know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like there were kind of the usual twists and turns, but there were a few things that I was like, oh, that was not what I was expecting. So yeah, I liked it.
Oh, good. I'm excited to pick something else up that's a little bit different and get a little bit of a palate cleanser and get something that's like a little bit more surprising, less slice of lifey. I think. Not, again, I am once again struck with the feminine urge to escape to Michigan, but need to get out of Michigan a little bit.
Yeah.
What are you reading right now?
Well, I'm listening to this Anthony Bourdain oral history thing that I was telling you about, that all the people that they interviewed for the oral history recorded their parts in their own voices. So it is like a really long podcast.
I love that.
Which is really cool. I'm also listening to, which I read years ago when it first came out and never revisited because it is fucking tough to read. But the movie for Turtles All the Way Down by John Green came out last week. And I want to watch it. I've heard very good things. It has like a high score on Rotten Tomatoes, but I haven't read it since it came out. So I'm listening to it, which I've never listened to it. So that book is fucking so tough to read.
I've never read it, and I'm kind of scared to read it.
It's really intense, but it's very good.
Yeah.
It's the only John Green I've never reread. Yeah.
Until now. But then I also finally, 2 years later, yikes, picked up Dream On by Angie Hockman, which I don't know why. I don't know why it took me so. It was one of those books that I was doing the annoying thing where I was like, I know I'm going to really like this book, so I want to like save it for the perfect like time to read it. Yeah.
And then I never picked it up. And I was finally like, Katey, come on.
That's so funny because that is like a book we talked about so much, like when this podcast started, of like, oh, it's coming out. Katie's going to read it soon.
Yes. But it was like, if I know I'm going to really love a book, sometimes I just save it for when I feel like I really need it, you know?
Yeah.
And I really needed it.
Yep.
I've had a rough 2 weeks. So I was, and you know what? I'm, as silly as it is that I do that and save them, I'm glad that I did because I knew I was going to really enjoy it, and I am really enjoying it. So it's just like very satisfying to like keep something like that in my little pocket for like break glass in case of emergency.
Nice.
So I did, and it's lovely. I don't think I like it as much as Shipped, but
Shipped was so fun though. So.
Shipped was so fun. This is fun, and it's also got just that little tiny touch of magic that I like, little magical realism. So it's a good one.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm like halfway through or so.
Yeah. Cool. Nice.
But next, we are reading. God, we've just got like a banger lineup.
I know. This is our Coachella. So next, we get to revisit friend of the pod, Sarah Adler, for Happy Medium, which I do need to do a refresher read.
I am going to do a refresher read because I read it in January.
Yeah, we both got advanced copies. Thank you, Sarah. So I'm so excited to talk about it publicly.
It is so good.
We've only been able to allude to it.
It is so good. I liked it more than Mrs. Nash's Ashes. Now that I have 4 months distance from it, I'm going to say that I liked it more than Mrs. Nash's Ashes.
Ooh, bold claim. Yeah. Bold claim. You know what? I'm really... Okay.
There's a ghost. What?
Look.
Of course I was going to like it more. Think about me and what I need in a book.
A ghost.
Of course I was going to like this book more.
A hot ghost. Yeah. Although we don't know how hot he is. He's
a zany ghost.
He's a zany ghost. I do love
Not all my ghosts have to be hot.
Yeah.
But the presence of a ghost really
it does help.
Ratchets up the likelihood that I'm going to like it.
Okay. So my hope is that this weekend we get our stock tank pool set up. I can get my little float and I can just get in there with my Kindle and just like fucking lounge.
And reread this book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my hope. So let's hope that works out. Because, yeah, I'm
Do you really think y'all are going to have it up by this weekend?
I think it's quite possible. Anyway, so prayers for me and my husband as we attempt to put together a stock tank pool on a budget because I did not want to spend another $700 buying a kit basically for YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited for Katey and I can get matching floats and just float in our stock tank pool.
And read the same book. That would be so cute.
That would be really cute. Anyway, everyone go pick up not Mrs. Nash's Ashes. But you should. That too, if you haven't, because I'll evangelize that book until I die.
Yep.
But go get Happy Medium so we can talk about it, which I'm very excited to do. Mm-hmm. And maybe we can get Sarah to come back on the pod.
I bet you we can.
I bet we can. So, happy pre-summer.